When Charles and I got married 25 years ago, she weighed 300 kilograms. He is my big, huggable bear, strong and comforting in size, someone who can fill a room with his presence. Something about his size made me feel safe, as if the weight of his body represented the weight of his love for me. Now he weighs 205, and I hate it. The once majestic figure has turned into a small figure of a person I don't recognize, both physically and mentally. Last week, a friend greeted us at a party and said, "Hey Laura and Charles, wow, you look amazing. How did you lose the weight?" Charles seemed to be the only one paying attention now, as if I had faded into the background. I had to smile when my husband loved the fettuccine Alfredo. As I went to find a drink, my mind wandered and I chose a clear glass of Mignon Blancs to ease my nerves. I remember the days Charles and I spent together. Not dirty words, but shared experiences. We laughed at the falling cakes, the eclairs and their absurdity as we drove to buy the meal we swore we'd always use. It was our inner laughter, the laughter that bound us together. Now the wheel is his platform, and the foods that made us happy have become symbols that will separate us. Whenever the results came together, the bond was still intact, at least for him. And it's not just the weight that has changed. It seems our motivation has changed, and he has lost 95 pounds. She's more confident and stronger. And while that's a good thing, I can't help but cringe every time someone compliments her, as if I were invisible, standing in the shadow of its new glow. Everyone loves hearing about Charles' weight loss journey, but no one asks how I feel about someone who seems to be slipping away from me with every notch on his belt. The Charles I married was larger than life, in every way, and now he seems to be shrinking, not just in size, but in his role in our marriage. After reading about the market value of sex, I've linked it to the description below. Laura finds herself jealous of Charles' attention to her. When he got out, people greeted him and pushed him aside. The article mentions that, when they met, Charles was heavier than her, and she sought comfort in a person who troubled her insecurities. At least he's admitting it now. It seems it all comes down to the market value of sex in relationships. In my first adult relationship, my ex tried to fatten me up, telling me that I had an unattractive haircut that would make me look smaller and less attractive to other women. Women can be as limited as they want to make sure they are the center of attention in a relationship, but society often portrays men as jealous. Laura admits that she was the one who made Charles lose weight and asked him to join the gym. But when he started counting calories, he started to panic. It happened to him. Last night at dinner, when the waiter asked for dessert, Charles patted his now flat stomach and said, "Not for me." For Charles, this is a simple sign of self-control, but Laura takes it as an insult, a reminder of her own inadequacies. This dynamic is awesome. Laura's eagerness to write this episode shames Charles into giving himself up and putting the weight back on. Although Laura is the author of the book Big Butts, Fat Thighs, and Other Success Secrets, she is currently insecure because her husband has changed. This is a classic case of control and shame. He pushed it to save himself, but now that he's fully recovered, he's saddened by the emotional consequences. The good thing is, you won't hear husbands complaining when their wives are doing well. Most men are willing and encouraging, not realizing that some women may miss out on monkeying a better partner. Laura may not want to leave Charles, but she is having a hard time with the change in market value. Men and women view these changes differently. As men, we are not always aware of the subtle statistics that a woman can enhance her appearance. Although ignored by the children, Laura may suffer from Charles' weight loss as he challenges his identity with the stories he has created from his book. He's strong about his body image, but Charles' transformation reveals a real fear. Fat and happy isn't what he thinks it is. This article is less about Charles and more about Laura's struggle for power, about her character and her marriage. Embarrassed by her, she hopes to draw attention to him and drain Charles of his new money. This is a negative influence on many levels: her book, her identity, and her marriage. Ultimately, this is a control game with visual effects. Laura encouraged Charles to lose weight, but now, instead of celebrating his hard work, he undermines it and tries to take credit for the changes and hide his sadness. In many relationships, women want to be seen as attractive, and if their partner values them more, they may try to bring him down. Laura tries to do just that by using an embarrassing tone to get Charles back to a place where he is safe. In the end, this person is often confused. She has changed because she wanted to. But now that she says she is not the person she loved, it seems innocent to ask for better health, weight loss, and a better lifestyle. Turned into a battlefield. The woman who has changed is changing. Men are often blamed for changing, even though they have changed for their partner. Out of love, out of a desire to please, and in the hope of strengthening the relationship. What most people don't see is the double-edged sword of these changes. In their minds, they're doing exactly what they're supposed to be doing, getting fitter, stronger, and stronger. But on the other hand, their partners often experience a deep and complex change in emotions. When Charles lost the pounds, he didn't just lose weight. He lost the qualities that made Laura feel good, desirable, and irreplaceable. With all the pounds lost, Charles reached his tax market value and became very attractive to the outside world, where there was a lot of anger. It's not just about his body. It's about how that body changes the dynamic between them and how others perceive it. Laura must now contend with a reality she never imagined. Even though he encouraged her to improve, she didn't think how this improvement would affect her. Not only did Charles lose weight, but once he lost the weight, he began to shine. Shifting attention, compliments, random compliments from strangers who were impressed by his learning, all lost value. The relationship that was built on mutual comfort is now like competition. He's gone. And then there is the question of identity. Charles is not the guy who lost weight. He is now a more confident man, someone who is proud of his appearance, someone who exudes an unprecedented level of confidence. This new version of him is not about how Laura sees him, but how she sees him. Perhaps without realizing it, he has begun to grow in the relationship in simple ways, not wanting to be like the emotional rocks or commitments that he used to be together. He evolves, and in doing so, leaves Laura behind, trapped in a world where he has complete control, a world that no longer exists. For Laura, this is terrifying. He is watching the people that he has ruled, and that he has allowed to become something that he cannot understand. What he asked for, his transformation, was now his worst nightmare. It's not about weight loss or muscle gain. It's about his loss of motivation and his fear of movement, not just from the pounds, but maybe because of himself. This change is sad to watch, especially when neither side knows its depth. Charles may not know how much he's changed, and Laura may not even know what's causing him so much trouble. On the surface, it's easy to say he's jealous of her success, but it's more than that. Power, identity, and fear of abandonment. Laura feels that she is losing control of the man she once knew and loved, while Charles may wonder why his hard work has alienated him instead of getting closer. This dynamic occurs in many relationships, where one partner develops, physically, emotionally, or financially, and others struggle to maintain it. This often results in guilt, resentment, and deep distress for the person who made the change. They did everything right. So why did everything fall apart? Why was their friend upset that they had done what they were asked to do? The sad truth is, in many relationships, growth and change are not always valued. Sometimes they reveal cracks in the foundation, cracks that were easy to ignore when both partners were standing still, but that become glaringly obvious when one starts to move forward. And this is where the real tragedy lies. In the end, Charles and men like him might find that the very thing they thought would strengthen their relationship ends up unraveling it. He may have lost the weight, but he's gained a new perspective, one that makes him question whether the person he's now becoming still fits with the partner he chose years ago. For Laura, the challenge is twofold. Can she accept this new version of Charles, or will she remain trapped in a nostalgic longing for the man who no longer exists? Can she confront her own insecurities and adapt to the shift in their dynamic? Or will she continue to resent him for the changes she once encouraged? These are difficult questions, and not every couple can navigate. In the end, weight loss isn't the problem. It's about control, identity, and the fear of losing something, or someone, that was once secure. Charles may have been different on the outside, but it was Laura's fear, doubt, and insecurity that really changed the course of their relationship. And if they can't find the deeper truths that don't lie beneath the surface, this spiraling cycle will continue, and they will drift apart.